Welcome to Stackless. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an email AI assistant where you can input a prompt, select the tone, and the AI will generate you a result based on that. So let's go formal and let's go my colleagues for a successful year at the company. Generate email, as you can see, generation in progress, and then we get a beautifully generated email that sounds professional, sounds like a user has written it, and is done in seconds. So that's what we're going to get into today. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is set up the UI. I'm going to leave a link to this editor in the description below so you can go and copy the UI directly into your app, as it's going to save us a lot of time, as this video will probably already be pretty long as it is. So I'm going to copy and paste this design here. But firstly, on the new page, we're going to set the default border width to 1200 and the min height just to 1000. And then I'm going to paste in the UI just like that. Now, let's set up the database. So what we need here is a few different fields. So the first data type we're going to need is an email data type. And this is going to hold all the contents within the email that we need. So we need to add fields here. The first one is going to be generated email. Now this is going to be the email returned from OpenAI, and we're actually saving that to the database here. So make that text. And then we're going to also add in user input. So this is the multi-line input in the demo I gave when you're summing up basically what you want OpenAI to generate an email based on. So this is going to be called user input with type text. And then we need to add a couple more fields here, but we're going to store these as option sets. So we're going to add a new option set called status, and this is basically just for the UI. So we're going to add in a few different ones like pending, completed, and failed, and this is going to reference when certain UI elements are shown. We're going to add in an option here and call it pending. We're going to add complete, and we're going to add failed, and that's all we're going to need for the status. We're going to add one more here. Now this is going to be the tone. So this is going to be the tone of the email in which you want, that email to be generated in. So you can have things like formal, informal, but let's just quickly add in a couple. So first one, we're going to have formal, and then we're going to have friendly, and we'll just say informal on the last one. That's all we need now. So we need to go back to the data types here, and we need to add these fields into the email data type. So we're going to have our status now in here, and that is going to be of field type that option set we just created, so status. And then we're going to have tone, also going to be the same option set we just created, tone, just like that. All right, now our email field is set up. We're just going to add one more here, and that's going to be the user, and we're just going to set that to type user, just like so. Going to hit create, and this is all the data types and option sets we need to get started in this video. We're going to move along now to the OpenAI API connection. All right, now moving on to the OpenAI API setup. So as I said, you can copy all the API connector stuff into your Bubble app through the link below. And I'm just going to quickly run over the few things we've done and what you'll need to do to actually make sure it works in your app. So you can copy all the call here. The only thing you're going to need to do is generate your own secret OpenAI key. So where it says bearer here, you're going to want to delete that and add your own in. And to set that up, you're going to want to go to OpenAI documentation. You're going to go to the dashboard. First, you need to make an account, obviously. head to dashboard, API keys, view user API keys, and you're going to want to go create a new key and copy that key. Go back into your Bubble app and paste it up top there. And then scrolling down, so what are we actually doing here? We have a post call, so we're sending data to OpenAI. That'll be the multi-line input, so the actual text that the user wants turned into an email. And then we go into the body here, and as I said, guys, make sure you copy and paste this, but we have a dynamic value here. It's green, the prompt. And all this is the same thing, the actual value of whatever the user inputs that they want turned into an email. So this just says, write me an apology email telling them I'll be in at 5 o'clock. Make it professional. And then if we go manually enter API response, you can see, apologies for missing the 5 p.m. meeting. Hope this message finds you well, yada, yada, yada. So it's the whole email done for us. All right, now quickly before we get into the workflow section, on the drop down tone, you're going to want to make sure you change the choices style here to dynamic, but it should be all the same because you're copying it straight from me. So if you name all the option sets and the data types the same, this will automatically load and work for you. So we have a type of choices tone, all tone, and the current options display. And then when button generate email is clicked, this is where we actually get into the workflows and make this app functional. So what do we need to do? When button generate email is clicked, we need to create a new thing. So data, create a new thing, and this is going to be type email. We're going to add all fields here. Now the generated email we actually don't have yet. That is returned from OpenAI. So we're going to delete that. And we're going to delete user as well. The only three we need are the status, the tone, and the user input. So for the status, we're going to make this pending. The tone is going to be the drop down tones value. And the user input is going to be multi-line input emails value. So that's the three data types we are now storing once that button has been clicked. And then I'm going to quickly set up this now. So after that, we're going to go to navigation and we're going to say go to page. We're going to go back to the email page and we're going to press this little box here, send more parameters to the page. Hit that. And the key we're going to say is just an email. And then this will be the result of step 1, create a new emails, unique ID. Now we actually need a few more steps in between here. So we're going to press this little arrow here and we actually need to schedule an API workflow, so a back-end workflow. Now to do this, you will have to activate a 14-day free trial. So head over to settings. We're going to go change plan and hit this green button here to start 2-week free trial. Confirm. And now we are good to use the back-end workflows. Back-end workflows are really just workflows that operate on the server side, so they're much more efficient and they don't use workload units, so costing for the data and etc. So back in the workflow section here, we're going to go to the custom events and we're going to say schedule API workflow. And the API workflow we don't actually have created yet, so now I'll show you how to access the back-end, guys. So where we have our page selections here, we're going to scroll down to back-end workflows. Now I'm going to delete that and we're going to add a new API workflow and we're going to set this to be called email. Quickly, one more thing I forgot as well, in the settings, you'll need to go to the API and you need to hit this box here, which is the enable workflow API and back-end workflows. So tick that. Now back in the workflows here. So we have an API workflow called email and everything looks fine here. We're going to untick this box to expose as a public API workflow. We don't need that. And then we're going to add a new parameter here. Now this is actually how we are getting data from the front end, passing it into the back end and allowing the workflow to execute on the back end. So we're going to call this the same thing. So the key is going to be email, but the type of this is going to also be an email. This allows us to reference the different data types, data fields, I should say, of the types we created. So for the email, we had, the generated email. So we're setting this to type email so we can access this on the back end. All right, now what we're going to do here is scroll down to plugins, and we're going to set our OpenAI email. All right, now we have this little prompt here. This is the actual dynamic value that we set in the plugins. As I said, the prompt. So what we need to do here is actually change this on the back end to make this dynamic, because obviously a user is going to not going to enter that prompt in every time. So we're going to actually delete this, and we're going to insert dynamic data here. We're going to add in some arbitrary text, which means this is text that does not change. So I'm going to add that in, and I'm going to quickly go to my other app that I've done this in and copy and paste this in. As I said, guys, user will also have access to this. So you can, copy and paste this at your own, will. So I'm going to say write and then we're going to insert dynamic data, and this is going to be emails, tones, display. So remember, we set them fields to write a formal, informal, or friendly email. Emails, tones, display. And we're going to say email based on the description. So this will be the text that the user inputs. And we're going to space there, and we're going to say the email user input. And then I'm going to say your generated email is semicolon, just like that. All right, now that is all set up. So I'll quickly explain this to you. So we're writing a formal email based on the description, which is the multi-line input value of the user. So whatever they want an email based on. And then we're just saying your generated email is, and then the returned email will be there. We're going to hit close. And before we do anything else, I'm going to say this to be formatted as JSON safe, just so OpenAI can read it every time. And then the next thing we need to do here is go to the data, and we need to make changes to a thing. So we have that call now, and we also have the generated email. So now what we need to do is make changes to a thing, and the thing to change is going to be the email. We're going to add all fields here, and we can actually delete the tone, we can delete the user input, and we can delete the user. This is all we need: generated email and status. So the generated email is going to come from the result of step 1, OpenAI emails, body choices, first items, message, content, just like that. And now we've made the call to OpenAI. We have that generated email. So we're going to change the status to complete, just like that. And that is all we need to set up on the back end here, guys. The next thing we need to do is go back to the front end. And on the step 2, where we scheduled the API workflow, we now need to select the API workflow that we just created. So email. And now the email is going to be the result of step 1, create a new email. Because that is type email, it will resolve to blue with just that first step. And the scheduled date is going to be the current date and time. Just like that. All right, now what we need to do here is our workflows are all set up. We need to go back into the design section and actually set up the conditions to show these groups. So click on group output here, and we're going to show the first group. And what we're going to say for this one is it's going to be when we have no data at all. So we're going to say, quickly just have a look. We're going to say when get data from page URL, and that's going to be email, because remember we set up that email parameter in the front end. That's going to be type email. When get email from page URL is empty, so there's no data in the URL. Sorry, I quickly just put that on the wrong thing. So we're going to copy condition, going to delete that, and on group pending, make sure you do that, guys. So when get email from page URL is empty, this element is visible, and hit tick. All right, that's all for that one. We're going to hide that, and then we're going to go to group loading here. So group loading is going to be same thing. When get data from page URL, when get email, which is also type email, status is pending. So remember, we're on the front end, once that button generate email is clicked, we're setting that status to pending. This will trigger this and allow this generation in progress with the SVG image to show. This element is visible, hit tick. That is all we need for that. Now we're going to hide this, and we're going to open group results here. Now this is the probably most important group, as this is what's going to show the actual returned email. So there's a few things we need here. So on the group results itself, we're going to say when get data from page URL. So once again, the email and the type email. Status is complete. Now remember, on the back end, guys, we set the status to complete once that call to OpenAI had been made. So this is what will trigger this group results to show. And then what we need to do here is on the group results, we need to go to the appearance section. We need to set the type of content here to our data type, our email data type. And the data source, I'm going to just delete this. The data source is going to be get data from page URL, type email. We're changing the type to email also here. Get email from page URL on the group results itself. And now what we're doing here is in the group results, we are getting that data. So you may be thinking, where am I actually getting this URL parameter from? So remember at the start, we set this step 3, go to page email, and we sent the email key with the result of step 1, create new email. So that's basically sending all the stuff that we need back to the page once everything has been completed. So that's where I'm referencing that email parameter from. All right, now we only need to add in here. So I have some text in here. This is the static text generated email, and this is the text that that we really only need. So I'm going to delete that also, and we're going to say parent groups emails generated email, just like that. So what will happen is this email will generate. This will resolve to the actual generated text from OpenAI, and it will display our image here. So let's give this a preview and see how we go and see if there's any issues we need to fix. So first thing, I'm gonna get rid of debug mode, and then we're gonna set this to, let's just say, a formal tone and say, let my team know that we have hit all of our KPIs this month, and drinks are on me. All right, so now if we actually generate this email, as you can see, our group generation is loading, and then we have a beautifully crafted email that's been generated. So, dear team, I hope this message finds you well. I'm thrilled to announce that we have successfully hit all of our KPIs for this month. Your hard work, dedication, and relentless pursuit of excellence have truly paid off, and I couldn't be more proud of what we have accomplished together. As a token of my appreciation, And to celebrate our collective achievements, I would like to invite you all for drinks. Let's take this opportunity to unwind and enjoy each other's company outside of the usual work environment. Please find the details below with the date, time and venue. I look forward to celebrating with you all soon. Thank you once again for your outstanding efforts and commitment. Best regards, my name, my job title and my contact information. And as you can see here, guys, that is how we create a email assistant. So you can input a simple topic and it will craft you a email based on the tone you want or whatever it is that you want to get out of it. So thank you for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to the newsletter. I post weekly no-code tips and tutorials, things that aren't in the videos, and it also lets me know that you guys are liking the content. Also, make sure to like, subscribe and comment, and follow me on Instagram as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.